We got him on thanks to our friend Craig Adam from Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan. He brings him on. Darryl Leason from Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan, joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Darryl, I got to tell you, I know you don't want to hear it and all that. You're the legend, right? Like when it comes to the Rams and everybody brings up the Rams, it's like, well, do you remember when Leason? Do you remember those days with Leason and all that? When you go back to your time with the Rams and more specifically that run to the Vanier Cup, like what do you remember about that?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. That's a long time ago. It's not quite as good as it used to be, but anytime that you strap on the pads with your teammates and you make a bunch of memories and stuff like that. And our 2000 year was very similar probably to what the Rams are going through right now. We got on a little bit of a roll going into playoffs. We went into Calgary. We won a shootout. We kicked the ball through the end zone from the 15-yard line on the last play of the game to win that game. So we were riding high. We went into Winnipeg for the Hardy Cup. And it was a snow-covered field. I remember that. And it was a tight game back and forth. And we scored a touchdown with 8 seconds left on third down to win that game. So we were riding pretty high that year. What the fun back then in the day is the CIS used to book your flights for the playoff games and that. And I guess at some point throughout the year, they had canceled the Rams tickets or whatever because they had written us off. So about 2-3 days after we just won the Hardy Cup, in when we were back on a bus to Winnipeg, and we had to use the Bison's tickets to fly out to Halifax for the next game.
What a jam right there!
Are you kidding? Talk about no respect.
It's all part of the journey, and it just added a little more fuel to the fire, I guess.
For you. And I know there's obviously pressure across the board on this, but you went through so many junior national championships, right? And then you were at the UFC before. But was there still a lot of pressure carrying the weight, I guess, of this new organization, this smaller school to get to the Vanier?
It's tough, and I think from a recruiting standpoint, it's tough for the smaller schools to maybe recruit the big name athletes and stuff like that. But once you get there and you put in the work with the coaches and everything, it's 12-on-12 football. You line them up and you say our 12 are just as good as your 12, and let's add them up after 4 quarters and see what happens, right? So the Rams will do fine in the playoff games here. They can compete with everybody. On a recruiting side, it's a little different story, but like I said, in the game, they can only put 12 guys on the field.
You left after junior to UFC, then you came back. Why did you come back? Was it Frank? Was it the organization? Just the ties to Sasky?
Yeah. So after my third year on the Dinos here, I had a little bit of follow-up with the coach or whatever, and that, and in the direction we were heading in that. So, at Rams had always had a special place in my heart, and when they joined the university, I decided that I was going to come back and suit up for them. I had to finish my degree in Regina, so I knew I had to take some more classes there. And I just wanted to give back to the Rams for, everything that we've gone through in junior football.
Yeah, Darryl, it's been obviously a while ago. I was a U of R Cougar during your on the hockey team when you were running around the football field there. So I know time has passed us by, but have you spent lots of time still keeping in touch with the league, and do you still follow it on a regular basis, and specifically the Rams?
You bet. There's doesn't seem to be as many games on TV anymore as it has in the past and that, but see how they're doing the standings. And this year I was actually fortunate. I went to the first game of the year when the Rams played the Dinos. So I hadn't been to a game in about 20 years, so it was nice to go there, and I ran into a couple guys I played with, and of course they've now got sons playing for both the Rams and the Dinos and that. So it's good. The Rams have had a great season. They started out hot and then had a few losses, but the good thing about that is they kept all the games close, right? And if you can keep games close, when you get into these playoff games, all it takes is 1 or 2 plays to go your way, and you can come out with the win in that. So it's not like they're getting blown out. They were in tight games, and I think that's going to help them with this playoff run.
What type of advice would you be giving Noah Pelche, their quarterback here, who's could be a little bit banged up heading into the game, but what kind of advice would you give to him to stay centered and maybe just keep his game simple and focus on what he needs to focus on?
I don't think his game at all. Like you said, he's had a tremendous season in that. He has to use the people around him in that. They've got great receivers. They got running backs who can catch out of the backfield. And that's what we had, in 2000 as great receivers, guys who can catch out of the backfield. And as a quarterback, your job is just to distribute the ball. Put the ball in these athletes' hand and let them do their stuff. They'll make you look good out there.
Yeah. When you go, like you said, you kind of still talk to some of the guys. Are you still tight with those guys from that championship team from the Rams?
It's tough living in Calgary here. It's quite a ways. I don't get a chance to go back to Regina that often. My brother still lives there, so every now and then I'll go back there. I've been back there for a few Rams events over the years, and it's always nice to see the guys, to reminisce about our playing days and stuff like that. So, so I don't get to see them as much as I'd like to. I do affect with a couple of the guys every year and that. So if anyone's out there listening, Todd, Gary, Mike, Curtis, just a reminder that I'm still the only guy to win back-to-back championships. So,
one guy who's listening is Josh Shaw.
Yeah, we don't always like to take fan questions, but some guy by the name of Josh Shaw has texted in, and he's curious to know how you continue to play tackle football when in fact you're older than Mike Tyson.
Well, not quite, but the Tyson fight is on.
Remember, that's a Josh Shaw question, not a.
Yeah. It's football's part, in my blood or whatever. I've been playing the Alberta Football League for the last 20, 25 years and that, and I get to suit up twice a week for practice and play on weekends and that. And what more can you ask for, right? It's you need some kind of hobby and stuff like that when you're working a 9-to-5er, and it's like for me, it's common to go out there, throw the football around, and play the games. Now the injury bug's been hitting me the last couple of years and that, but when a guy can stay healthy, it's fun. Play it as long as you can.
Awesome.
My advice, Josh, is to get off the couch and go play some flag.
Yeah, right on. There you go. Hey, take people through, because the one thing that I didn't really know too is, like, I remember always thinking, what about the CFL chances? Like, how come the CFL chances? What was that journey like? And did you feel that maybe if you were in a different time, like currently playing, you maybe would have had a better luck, or not so much?
It's hard to say. When I came off the Regina Rams as a junior football, and that I had the opportunity to go to the Edmonton Eskimos training camp, and I actually made the team as a third string quarterback, but financially it didn't work out for me back then. The third string quarterback was considered part of the practice roster. They only kept 2 on the active roster and that. So CFL, there's just no money there. I think I would have made $500 a week for quickly $9,000, something like that. Just not worth it, right? So I wanted to play, and I thought the only way I was going to get better was to be on the field and taking snaps and that, rather than watching Danny Menace and snaps and that. So that's why I made the decision to go to university. And when I went to university, got my degree, got a great job, and I don't regret any of it.
Yeah. What are you doing now? What do you give people an idea?
Right. So I'm a landman for Torx and Energy. They're an oil and gas company. So I have to go out and secure the rights for us to drill oil wells.
Wow. Right on. How often do you get to watch your boy play hockey?
Quite a bit. Watch every game. So, he's got a game tonight here at 8 o'clock. So it kind of conflicts with the Tyson fight a little bit here. So I might have the TV on one game and my phone watching the Tyson fight or whatever. And that. So, no, it's been great. Going to Anaheim and that. We usually get down there a couple times a year and that. He's got a couple points last night, so he's on a bit of a streak here and that. So we're going to have the father-son weekend here, I think, just before Christmas. It's kind of bad timing. I think I've got a trip to Hawaii planned, and I get back. I can't come back to Calgary because I land in Vancouver, and I got to jump on a different flight to go to Anaheim for this father-son weekend and that. So,
jeez.
So it's fun. It's quite the experience.
Yeah, awesome. What a ride it's been. So was he a football player as well, and did he at some point have to shift to hockey?
He did. So he played 5 years of football and starts out as, I think it's called Tykes or whatever. It's kind of like 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds. So it's pretty neat watching those little guys getting their stance at that age and that. But he ended up playing 5 years, 2 years Pee Wee, and in his last 2 years of Pee Wee, he won back-to-back provincial championships, I think. And he was pretty good. He was a quarterback as well. So his last year at Pee Wee, he threw 37 touchdown passes, only had 1 interception on the year. So not bad numbers. I wish I had those kind of numbers, but it came to a point where he had to make a decision, right? Football interfered with AAA hockey and that, and he kind of looked at it, and football's a short season, right? You start, early August when it's plus 25 out, and by the time you're done in November, it's minus 30 out, right? So, he chose hockey where, he loves hockey, he loved football, but he can play hockey year round and that. So
no.
I was there, supported him, whatever decision he wanted to make, it worked for me, so.
Yeah, good decision. Just like you're selling your trips to Hawaii or, on that CFL salary are a little few and far between. When's the last time you've been to Hudson Bay?
I went in the summertime. I usually go there once a year, usually twice a year, but my parents have been spending with their winters in Hawaii, so it makes it a little tougher. And I've got 3 little granddaughters now, and so it's hard to pack up everybody and go back to Hudson Bay for Christmas. But I usually get out there for about 2 weeks during the summertime, and we do some fishing, some golfing, ride the quads, all the fun stuff you don't get to do here in the city.
Right on. Darryl, amazing. I know you're a busy guy. Totally appreciate you taking some time. And hey, this weekend, go Rams, right?
You bet. I missed the first half of the Hardy Cup because of the time change last weekend. So, but I got to see the second half, which was the good half. They came back and won that game. So I'll have to I won't make the same mistake twice this weekend with the time change.
Right on.
Awesome.
Okay. Thanks, Darryl. Again, let's talk again sometime.
Thank you.
Right on.
Thanks, guys.